Hello, everyone. Thank you for being here. Welcome. Welcome to our first English talk for Pixel Game Jam. So, welcome, everyone. Hopefully, we have people from both languages, Spanish and Portuguese. So, welcome. Bienvenidos. Bienvenidos. Um, so, we have right now someone who's going to be talking today about. This new way of working, new way of interacting with people, which will be super, super amazing for you guys on this game jam. Let me bring Andrea here. And
Hello,
welcome
how are
to
you all?
this. Well, again,
Yeah,
yeah, welcome
very
to our
excited.
whole spot in the internet. Let me introduce you everyone to Andrea Fernandez. She's a development manager at Ambush Studios. She has over 8 years of experience working for team management, creating products, and being agile. She adapts and learns constantly on her life, and she's always open to chat. So, if you have any questions outside of the game jam, outside of this talk, feel free
Yes.
to reach her. Okay? So, welcome to Pixel Game Jam, Andrea.
Thank you. I'm really, really excited. Hello to everyone, to the she's and they and thems. I'm really happy for this. I have also having a lot of chats with people on the industry. I know that time is drawing, but we have so much potential. We are leads on general sales, on general marketing. We have a lot of winners within the esports, the first places and stuff like that. So if you don't know, a lot of the people in the industry started in a game jam because I don't know any other industry that allow you to have fun and to work in a real life project for a full weekend because you can do that on medicine, on any other industry. So please have fun, please learn, please ask any questions. I'm ready here to help. I'm not the only one. You have a full support team only working for you. So this is amazing. I'm really excited. You don't know how much I love game jams. I remember my first one. I was really nervous. I didn't know how to draw. I didn't know how to code, but I was willing to learn, and that was help. So hope you
That's
have a great time.
is. So everyone, you already heard from Andrea. So this is your space, Andrea, and
Um,
I'll be
yeah,
here.
perfect. Thank you, Tasha. Okay, so my presentation today is about managing your remote team. This is only tips and tricks. This is very focused within the game jam because it's not the full time as a development, a full game. You know that a full game for a massive chain or a port to a console stuff like that could take to up 5 years or more. A console or even a mobile game can take more than 1 year. It can be more if it's really difficult. So you only have 3 days and you need to eat and learn and introduce yourself and sleep and do more things. So how to really manage that time is something that you should learn from that. And if you have a team, this is way better for you. First of all, if you have any question, please comment. This is not I have a place in the very final if you have more question, but if I say something and you have a question about that, I would love to hear. I also learn hablo español, so you can comment in Spanish or you can comment in Portuguese. I don't know a lot of Portuguese, but we know I have a translator. I will do my best. So
Well,
hope you learn.
Google Translator in worst case
Yeah.
scenario.
I
So
mean, well, we can go wrong, right? Okay, so let's start. Okay, first I need to understand what is a remote team. So a remote team is work on a common project or a product. It is fully relatable within your Wi-Fi, your internet, and your software and your hardware. It's not like in the office when you all can go together and write on a map or write on a notebook or whatever. This is only remote, so you need to be in constant aware that maybe the lights go off and something is something that you can control. Maybe the Wi-Fi go, oh, maybe you are having a talk, the dog barks and stuff like that. It can happen, so we need to be a little more flexible within that. and we need to have a lot of connections. Since most of the time you are writing, uh, you don't understand what the other people is saying because writing doesn't have a tone. So personally, I always put emojis because if I say like, "Hey, how are you?" You hadn't connected in like 5 minutes and you miss a call, but I put a smiley face at the end, they will know that I'm not angry at them. I'm just genuinely asking, like, did you miss something because something happened? Or are you okay? Maybe you overslept and you didn't wake up. It's totally doable. So please remember, you are not having a tone. That's why always having these rules, we will see a little bit more later, is important. You need to have an agreed language. Maybe you all speak Spanish. Maybe you all speak English. Maybe you only speak Portuguese. So having a common language is great because they will set the tone. In the industry, it's really common to work in different time zones and to have different language and to have different tongues. Even if you work in Mexico, if you work from Ciudad de Mexico to maybe Playa or maybe Monterrey or maybe Baja Mexicali, you have different time zones. So you all need to agree on that. So please don't assume that you understand everything. What I like to do is when they give me an instruction, I try to repeat the instructions to know that I learned well. So I try to have it like writing. That really helps because if you don't understand something, you can go back and say, "Oh yeah, I remember the instructions." That's really great. Full-time meetings should be not by surprise. This is really important. I need to clap back because you don't have the idea of what the other person is doing. You need to be in control of the time zone, of the language, of the background. You don't know that person really well. It's the first time you work together, and this is for every type of work. So don't underestimate. I think don't underestimate the feelings part. I in agile we say that is persons over process. So if you have a talent but the person doesn't feel great, is always person. I love to go more than person, like to feelings, because maybe in that particular moment they saw something, I don't know, a video and they're crying and they enter the meeting crying, but it's not because they feel wrong. It's maybe they were moved. Or I sometimes wake up really fast from my desk and I jump my knee to the desk and I'm like, oh my god, I'm really hurt. And someone is like, are you okay? Something like that. Yes, I'm just clumsy. That's it. But please try to be aware of that situation. So if you having a full-time meeting with all your person, can be 3, can be 8, can be 20, can be 50, whatever. If it's a full-time meeting, try to give a few heads up, maybe 15 minutes. Try to be aware that not maybe everyone will be on time, and trying to record everything if someone misses the meeting. Daily proof of work. uh, I always try to do a daily proof of work because I feel industries, not only video games, they try to micromanage your time because you are not in the office watching your boss or watching your coworkers work. So sometimes you need to do other things. You need to go and eat and go to the bank and simple go and do another stuff. So in a game jam, it's a little bit different because you try to put your full 3 days within your commitment, but you don't. You can manage everything. You can manage surprises. You can manage a power off and stuff like that. So I don't know if you receive some visit by surprise. That has been happening. You have to attend it. You have to be a human. So please try to manage this. And if you have a meeting and you can attend, try to say like, "Hey, I can attend," or "This come up," or "I have been working on that," and you send it. That's it. Let's go to my other thing. You don't know where the person is working from. It can be from their house, from their parent house, uncles, family, friends, a coffee shop, an office, and stuff like that. So you don't have idea. Try to ask them. It's really easy. At the beginning, try to ask like, "Hey, how are you? Where are you from? What you like to do?" Some people like to call instead of writing. Some people like to write the text before call. Some people hate video calls. So try to get that in mind. If you are like 10 people project, you can do it. It's really easy. It's a 10-minute meeting. Maybe your first time is going to be like really beautiful, but when you are 48 hours working in a project, you don't look your best. So maybe you're really shy like me. I'm getting all blush right now because if I'm working 48 hours in a project and I don't look my best and they try to pull like my presentation up and I have like hair like this and I have like my, maybe I don't like to turn my camera on. So that's okay. Just ask your people. Maybe there's another person who like to speak in front of people more better. So hey, can you do your presentation there? Can you do the final? Can you prepare and give that person some time so they can prepare the pitch? It's okay if you do final or last minute changes. If you communicate it is actually the best because you don't want to see someone in front giving the face and working on the presentation and something new come up. I don't have an idea what it is. So try to, you can do that. I actually encourage you to do that, but choose please give a heads up to the presenter. That would be great. Different time zone.
Even
Yeah,
even then, like most people right now are super shy. Like really, they get anxiety and they get like really huge problems when they try to actually talk with a person, either
yeah,
on a phone or a video call or whatever. So if you give that heads up or you tried first to chat before you actually have to give them the call, that is way better. I mean,
yeah. I couldn't agree more. I mean, if you're shy, if everyone in the team is shy, that's valid. So you need to practice your pitch. So maybe last minute changes are not possible, but try to practice your pitch, your presentation, your result, your prototype, whatever you want to do it. Try to do it for your team and try to do it repeatedly. I always like to write it down and practice before I do it. You don't have idea how many practice I did for this presentation, but I did it, and I'm all blush and stuff like that, and I still have the presentation. Um, eh, they have different time zone and cultures. You don't know, and try to get it. If someone else is having a birthday and they're having their birthday within the game jam, it can happen. It's really amazing, but you have to understand that maybe they will have a little bit extra. They will be really excited. You don't know if one is a really big fan, for example, of soccer, one soccer team, and you're going to have a big soccer match that Saturday, and they will be like, please give me this time frame to do my fanatics thing and then go back to the game jam. It's totally doable because that's real work. That's
Doctor Strange, don't forget this weekend. Actually, today we have Doctor Strange, so most likely someone will be at the movies.
try to say like, hey, I hadn't seen Doctor Strange. Please don't spoil me because that will ruin the fun. You can say, has everyone watched Doctor Strange? Yes. Okay, let's have a 30 minute talk about spoilers and then go back to the team. I did that to my team today. I said like, I hadn't seen it. The rule is that we cannot talk until Monday. If you hadn't seen it to Monday, it's up to you. um. Oh, yes. I mean, I did that when I entered the jam. I didn't know how to draw. I didn't know how to program, but I was really good at talking. So yes, I said like I can manage this thing and I can do the presentation. And it happened to me that they make last minute changes to the presentation. That was not the presentation that I was practicing. So yes, little Pandora, that can happen. You can do it. Full team meeting should be sent with agenda and time to prep. Again, full-time meetings you only been working, I don't know, 72 hours, and it's better to have expectation from the beginning. That's the characteristics of the team. But what is actually recommendation that I can give you? Clear expectations. Try to give the for the moment. Maybe in your team you only have one artist, one someone willing to move code, or maybe not code, but try to work with each and stuff like that. One who is giving the pitch and trying to manage, or maybe one QA, and that's it. Maybe only three persons. Maybe you are done. Try to clear your expectation. There are people who only works in 3D, and you know that 3D can take up to more time. So maybe try to download answers, stuff like that. But to say like, hey, if our character is a big thing, and you're gonna spend 48 of the 52 hours within doing that, we only want to have one character. So that character will have to give the most extreme value proposition that we can do it. Everyone agree? And they say, maybe not, maybe try to do two characters, don't try to polish too much. On the other side, like, we can give more background, we can have a game design, a level design, maybe we can do levels, but for a prototype for only Sunday, yeah, we'll only get one level, but the idea is to have, I don't know, 10, 100 levels. It's up to you, but everyone has to be agreed with the expectation. The deliverables is really good. Maybe you work on your character and the character is the best character you have ever made, but you didn't deliver, like, for, I don't know, for Unity or for Unreal or with the characters that you have. Maybe it's missing a ring, maybe it's missing a layer, maybe it's only expectation, maybe it's on 2D. If you don't have anyone to program, I love point and click. So maybe try to come up with a comic and stuff like that. That's really great, but you need to do, like, okay, you're working on backgrounds, we are working on characters, you are working on sounds and special effects, whatever, but we all agree on universe theme. But what about the universe? Because maybe I go like, yeah, full planets, and maybe you go to a specifically one type of Martian and stuff like that. Maybe my son is more like, "Woo," and you try to do something else. So don't underestimate the time of reproduction. So clear expectation, deliverables, meetings, boundaries. You can say like, hey, I have this thing. Maybe I go to Sunday church from this time to this time, and that's not something I'm willing to give. That's completely fine. You can do it, but I cannot read minds. This is really important. So
Yes,
communicate.
communication is the key.
I don't read minds, so please try to do that. Goals. Maybe you all want to work after the game jam. Maybe you really work together as a team and you say like, we are going to finish this game, but for the game jam we are going to deliver from here to here. All the rest we're going to do in later, which is completely doable. You have all the you have the connections, you have the time, you have everything to do that. So I actually encourage you to do that, but try to put a goal. This is not going to be quite clear at the beginning, especially the first day, because you are still wondering like, what are we going to do, what type of game, stuff like that. But if by Sunday morning you don't have your goal, you need to work. You have all Friday and all Saturday to come to, okay, this is our ending point. If we don't finish to this, this is our pre-ending point, and that's it. That's okay. Um, a clear expectation or a clear boundary will be like, in this game jam we're going to meet 2 times per day, like at 6 p.m. or 8 p.m. Sao Paulo, and 8 a.m. and Ciudad de Mexico, and 10 a.m. Sao Paulo for updates. So that's a mandatory 2 time meeting for all the team. You cannot it can be only audio, doesn't have to be by video, and you have to be there. If you are not there, you have to submit your work, or to prove of something. What is good to have that, because you know what is expected from you. People don't like to work without clear rules or clear expectation. I don't know what I'm going to do, I don't know if what I'm doing is correctly, I don't want to invest, because a lot of people work differently. So maybe it's like me, like, you focus and you say like, I'm going to work on this for the next 4 hours, don't talk to me, and you start doing your work. That's okay, but try to remember that we have a meeting at this time, and so on. um what is mandatory for each individual? Yeah, if each person, maybe you have 3 artists. What is going to be each of them? One of them is dependent from the other. Everyone is doing separate things. They have to have a meeting only for artists and then communicate to the rest of the team. These little things that you can be, it can be very stressful if you don't communicate. Don't try to choose a song that everyone knows how to do. It's really good to have what is an exception, like, we didn't talk about this, oh yeah, let me add it to the moment. Make the rules together. You have your full team on your first day. I hope so. Maybe people will come along, I don't know, but if someone comes along, let's try to communicate to the team. Make the rules together, communicate what we maybe that person that comes on Saturday morning doesn't know about our meetings 2 times per day. You try to communicate that, and what is expected from here, she or they. from the rest of the game jam. List out the liberals and assign them. This is as easy to open one document in whatever platform you say and say like, this is what we're going to do. And you try to list everything. I'm going to help you with that in a moment. But try to list them. To try to having in a shareable point of way, maybe Google Drive, maybe Microsoft Outlook, wherever you want to. You can go to Miro, you can go to wherever tool you want. There is a lot. You only try to do that, and Andrea is going to do the final pitch, presentation, and deck, because maybe another artist is doing the deck, maybe I'm doing the deck, I don't know, but try to be very clear about that. And boundaries, maybe the team is not going to be connected to 24/7 the 3 days. Maybe they want to sleep, maybe they have a child, maybe they have to go to another thing. So that's a boundary that is really acceptable, but you have to communicate that first. And rule, an example of rule is all team members should be at this final presentation. Like, I'm really, really happy that you have to do this thing, but please all check if we can be at the final presentation, because maybe the presentation come, I don't know, maybe I'm the presentation, uh, sleep, that's mandatory. Yes, that's an excellent rule, because you will not function at 100% um, without sleep. And you have different time zones, so maybe I will working on something and you have something from Spain. They will continue your work, and then you wake up and you have your coffee and you have everything together. So that's great. um
Yes, we do have people from countries outside of Latin America. So, yes, that is going to happen. Those, we have someone from Spain, and I believe someone got in from Greece. That is actually, well, quite weird. But yeah, we'll have people outside of America, so be mindful about time zones. Although we do recommend the people who are not in Latin America to try and shift a little bit their times, so they are more in line with whatever is happening in Latin America, because the main focus for Pixel Game Jam is obviously Latin America. So cross me in
uh,
mind.
so try to remember, if you happen to have in the team when you have someone from Spain, from Greece, for whatever country, like, hey, maybe it's 5 a.m. in your time when we are presenting. It's okay if you are not in the final presentation, or if it's okay if you sleep beforehand, stuff like that. You can manage that. We are all humans, don't worry. So what is development? I know that you have a full presentation of what is a game development. I really encourage. It's in Spanish, but it's really amazing presentation. Um, um, they did yesterday, so this is a full really recap. You can screenshot if you want, but a full development within a game is planning and pre-production. I put it together because in the game jam you will not have time to plan, and then pre-production is all going to be all together. Then you're going to be in full production until your last minute. If you have time to testing, please do it. You don't have to test. You have to test within yourself. You can go and put the prototype on yourself, for example, and then go to your mom and say like, can you play? Can you give me like what you don't like? So on. Can you go with your roommate? Can you go with your kid? Whatever you have in mind, try to test. If not, it's not like an amazing. And for pre-launch, a full game development will have a pre-launch, which is alpha, beta, stuff like that, to try to get sense of what the final user wants. So maybe you don't have time for that. Don't worry. I mean, you maybe want to plan to do a 10 levels in this game, but for the game jam you only will deliver one level. That's totally doable. And launch, actually launch is a very big deal within the games, because your first day on the Apple Store, on the Android, on Steam, on each, on any platform, your first day and your first week is the most important for launch. So before launch you have to have your post production ready. Maybe you're gonna update in a week in advance. Maybe you're gonna have a seasonal thing. Maybe it's in Christmas, it's in Halloween, maybe it's every 15 days you'll have a new event. Maybe, I don't know. Try to get ready. Sometimes the game is already finished, but the post production hadn't been defined. So the game doesn't come out to the internal date that we decide because we don't have post production ready. That can happen. It's only an advice that gives you in general. So this is important. If you want to try, if you want to take a screenshot for that, this is amazing. Why? Pre-production is something that needs to be taken care of during our I don't know where I got. Thank you. Try to do the screenshot now. um, these all questions you need to answer, maybe more, but I only put like what I come to my mind. What is the game about? Who is the audience? The market, the competition. Maybe you try to refer something. Maybe you try to mimic. Maybe you try to copy. Is in a platform. Is in a platform. It's going to consoles. It's going to be in PC. Maybe you try to go to Steam. What is the stuff? What is to deliver that you can do within your team? It's going to be 2D. It's going to be 3D. What is the art team? It's going to have music. You can do a rhythm game without one only track of audio, but that track is going to be the most important one because everything is going to be timing for the audio. So maybe you have to put all your effort at the beginning to the audio and then pass to it. So maybe the audio will only be working, really working Friday, and Saturday and Sunday only doing small twitches. So that's something that you have to take in mind. Maybe you're doing a trade match because you have all the assets and you only know you want the experience of what is to upload to the store, to the app store to actually want to put it because maybe you have done a trade match. So you are going to change the icons, how to support it, how who is going to be on the name of it, who is going to put the details within that, what is going to happen if you want to download it for the app store for the final pitch. So those questions, all these questions, try to, if you don't know what to do your next day, try to ask for it in pre-production, because this is going to change. You're going to be in production full time. So do we have the technology? Maybe we don't have the skill to do that, but I think that I can do it. So if you compromise to do it, it's okay. If you didn't do it, that's okay because we are learning. But I learned, yes. What is your target audience is different for what is your audience, but maybe I like to, maybe my mobile game is for moms in Latin America, but specifically to the Facebook moms in Latin America. They like to ask for lives, they like to tag another moms or another female audience. And they like to do easy stuff, and they like to really do cute little kitties or a cloud stuff like that. Maybe it's that your audience. How big your team will need. Maybe you have really good example of the game that you want to do, but you're missing one artist, or you're missing one musician, or you're missing one QA. We don't know. That's the question that we should try to answer on pre-productions. I really hope you don't underestimate the pre-production definition. So when we start the game jam, I really highly recommend that you spend like 30 minutes, 1 hour, try to get to know each other. Try to give 10 minutes to each person. Try to say like why they like about video games, what are the expectation within this game jam. Maybe they work within one software or one tool, or they want to learn a new thing. Try to get all the match within what you want to do, and then after you spend 1 or 2 hours get to know each other, try to focus on the deliverable that you're gonna do for Sunday. So you need to hire externals. Maybe and maybe your father can do a voice that you need for your enemy, and he can be like, "I'm going to beat you" and stuff like that. So you can get really creative of what you need, but you don't know what you need until you answer or question yourself what you want to achieve. So maybe I'm not in the charge of audio, but I have a really good voice, and it's a really good voice for my boss. And the final boss that I'm going to do, we're going to do that level and say, okay, I can definitely record something on my cell phone and then pass to the audio person, and they or she or they can fix it. So the core story. it can change, because if you are relying on click and point, maybe you need a lot of text. So if the person is going to do a lot of changes, they also need to do a proofread. They also need to put the exact text within each screen. So don't try to say, yes, I have until Sunday to have all the writing scripts, because you are going to apply it on the same day. So try to be really careful with your times. um yes, roles. What are roles? Coloration, yes, that's amazing. Between coloration, what a person can do, I don't know, an artist. And this is what I love about video games. I don't know what you do, but you can put games and then artist, or game or designer, game development, game producer, game audio, game QA. It's really great, because you want to be really cocky about that. I work in the industry I love. So game artist can be 2D, 3D, animation, VFX, UA, you name it. We can create concept, characters, words, add life to the game, maybe special effects, maybe color, maybe the tone. You have to work on props and so on. Is infinite what you have to do. So if you are saying that I need a game artist, yes, and one person from 2D raise their hands, I actually need one UI. You can be more specific and try to look for a UI. If you don't know what you're looking for, try to say, I'm looking for a person who is able to do a screen for a mobile game. The main menu and maybe the core loop where you are playing the game. Oh, that's a UI. Oh, okay. I'm looking for a UI. That's it. Game designer is can be a word designer, can be a level designer, can be economy designer. There's a lot of design that you have to do within a game. So maybe developing the storyline, the character backgrounds will give you information for artists. Maybe gameplay, rule, mechanics. You know what mechanics you're going to do, but maybe you need a little more definition of what is a 3D match. What is if you do four, if you do five, it's going to happen something special. You will have something like a bump, or like a cloud, or something like a start that will give you extra, or will give you path. Those rules will be determined, and you don't need to determine it like in the Friday, but maybe you have to do it by Saturday midday, because you need to do the rules and then don't change for us to deliver on time. So maybe your work will be really, really stressful for one day, and then quite happy because you are in a funnel, and maybe you need to do the art and then pass it to program, you put the art, and then pass it to pitch, you do the pitch. So try to remember that. Game development is I put other programs on that. QA, audio, writers, leads, voice actors, you name it, everything is game development, and you have to test the game if you can. This is a game jam. Maybe you can, maybe add audio for samples that you have. Maybe you have to create the music. Maybe you have to write the main story, because that's important for you. Maybe you need to let, maybe there is someone who their only task is to manage the team, because we are not good at time management, so we need one person that help us with that. That's right. And then we have programmers, front end, back end, Unity, Unreal, maybe for Android, maybe for iOS, maybe for PC, stuff like that. So what they do, maybe you don't have a programmer, maybe you would try to be on a non-code game, which is totally doable. So if you are relating on a game which is heavily art, you can do it without a programmer. Try to ask your mentors, try to ask a way like which tool we have in hands to doing that. Launch and live ops. This is really important for a normal game. So I put it this so you can have it for your final pitch. Do you want to publish the store? Maybe the store is iOS, Android is itch.io, is Steam. I don't know, but you want to try to publish, you have to have that time in mind. First day is the most important one, because when you publish one, you are competing within all the games that have launched in that day, from all the countries, from all the time zones. I'm trying to prepare for that. Marketing and social media is really important. So try to share with your team, with your family, with your friends, like, hey, I did this game. Be proud of because you work nonstop for 72 hours. So be cocky about it. Say like really really loud. I made this. Maybe it's not perfect, but I did it, and it's my first time or it's my second time. No matter if it's your daily job, you did it and you have to be proud of. So I really highly recommend it to share with your social media. And maybe another person say like, hey, I want to help you. Can I do it? And that would be great. Maybe another person say like, hey, you are really good at this. You have to get a job on that. Maybe you having a normal job and this is your passion and you only participate on game jams. That's totally doable. Um, if you don't have a plan for live ops and you don't publish a game and then you're like, great, I need to do another one. You have to continually doing patch cover box. Maybe you have seasonal themes and so on. So you don't launch and then leave it up. No, you have to plan for live ops because a live ops is the essential core of the game. You have passed all this time development. So when you launch it, it's like, well, he will do it like he will do it. No, no, madam. You actually have to plan and try to help. Maybe you don't do well on your first day, and maybe past 2 or 3 years within you do and go completely viral. And your game is all over the place. So that's great, but you need to plan your live ups. Um, in a normal time frame, which is not a game jam, you try to prepare for the next 6 months. So let's say that you want to do an RPG for games and it's going to be or a level game and it's going to be 3 levels, but for the game jam you only do the concept for one level and try to make half of the level of the work for that level. And that's your pitch. You are going to work after the game jam X amount of time because you want to finish and the team compromise. And when you launch it in your day, you have to have like, hey, maybe because we want like or more people following, we're going to do a Christmas edition when we only change a few assets, or the character is now with a hat, or maybe there's just snowing in the background. Maybe you want to do something Halloween or stuff like that. Try to prepare for that so people don't get in the last minute just we're going to do something like that. And you can still work in your team after the jam. You only need to confirm this is really good to talk within your presentation like, hey, I only have 3 days to work on this. If you want to work after that, you have my assets, you have my background, you have access to everything, but I don't have time to follow up from that. Maybe I do have time, maybe I want to help, maybe I get help and I really really want to produce a full game. So we can do it. So try to ask that in the pre-production plan, and to just like, okay, in the game jam we are a team of 10 members, but after the game jam, we only three. Is that doable? Yes. Yes. That's it.
Actually, we do have some teams who have participated on other game jams. Um, and they even ended up making their own like, studio, gaming studio. And it all started within a game jam. Like it was so innocent, like prototype that they actually went in all the team and they finished it. And the next game jam, they came back as the same team to make another game for their company and everything. So it is possible.
Oh my god, I'm chills. I'm really happy for that. That's the dream. Imagine like you go to a game jam and you find your people, you find your person, then you say like, let's open a studio. And you do it and you have actual games and you work on it. So that's the dream, to be honest. But if you can do it, be front about it. Like, I only have 3 days. I can work on weekends, maybe some, maybe other not, stuff like that. Everything is doable. But again, we don't read minds. Try to communicate. I prefer to over communicate than under deliver. That's maybe something on me. Communication is the key. Yes, it is. A game design document. A lot of people try to ask me about that, the importance of that. If we have a sheet of that, if we have a format, a preset, stuff like that. A game design document is maybe spoiler. Maybe it's not one document. Maybe it's a lot of documents that you try to put. A game design document is nothing prefab. It's according to your project, to your game, and to your product. So just grab something, maybe a Word, maybe an Excel, maybe whatever you want, and try to put all the information with it only one source. That's the game design document. One link, one source. Maybe you have everything on your drive, maybe you have everything on your Miro, maybe you have everything on Slack. I don't know. I don't care, maybe it's Discord, but one point of reference when you can find all the information of your project. What the first idea, the concept, maybe how you change the gender, the characters, the background, the gameplay, the mechanics, level, world design, art, sketches. Maybe that is the reference point when you finish one character and all the team say like it's great, okay, and then you start to prepare the assets and it's on the same link, and you don't have to communicate that with the people programming, because we all know that when it's ready we only need to check that link and everything's going to be there. So all the question that I did at the beginning, like what is your gender, what is your target audience, what is that, is in that link. Maybe that link is one drive, one folder, and we have one for pre-production, one document for characters, one working for level design, one or another folder for all the assets, another folder for music. Maybe we don't have a musician, so we only download free music, free copyright music, and we put it over there. And the person who is in program, we decide that we don't have the time to check all the audios and to all agree. So maybe you have the do. If you chose one, we all agree. That's your responsibility. That's okay. Don't try to micromanage and try to do everything, and try to deliver. So
If
that's
you
again.
still want a DDD, like a real document, no worries. We do have one, and we will be sharing that one with everyone on Discord. We can talk about that a little bit later, but yes, we'll be sharing some of that with you all. No worries.
So this is when the lovely part of the game jam come along. You are not alone. It's not like when in other industry you go to your job, you work or you study a lot, maybe 4, maybe 5 years, I don't know. But then you enter on your one day and you don't know what is happening. You don't know anything about the industry. You are junior and you don't know. This doesn't happen in game jam. In game jam, if you don't know something, it's as easy as to connect someone in Discord, maybe ask the community, maybe ask on Twitter, on social media, and a lot of people will help you because this is a global game jam, right? So there's a lot of games just happening today. Is a team. So you are not the only one having questions, and you are not the only one providing feedback and providing help. So this is really great because for me, I have to learn in the bad way what is a game design document, but maybe you don't have to, and that's really amazing about the game jam. I will repeat what I did at the beginning. I don't know any other industry that have 3 days of fun learning environment of real life work that you can mess up and you can learn and you can still be in the industry. Maybe this industry is not for you, but you don't know. So you try again, Jen. Maybe your love for the video games is more about playing the video game, not making the video game, because there's a huge difference. Maybe you are really good at making video games, but you don't know. So Game Jam is the place. I really encourage, if you are watching this talk and you are not already subscribed or involved in the Game Jam, and you want to be in the video game industry, you have to try it. I don't know a lot of persons who is in the game industry are, and they have not been on any game jam. So I really try to encourage this. And for the game design document, the amazing people in 1 Minute Games, they will give you pre-sheet information with all the information you need to put, but it's general ideas, concept, designs, pre-war genders, if you want to bully, if you don't, is it going to be only a mock-up, is it going to be a click point, any decision that you make as a team, they have to be there. So thank you, Women in Games, for giving us that amazing help. And I think that's all. Yes, if you have any question, this is the time. Thank you for the comments to this moment, and I'm almost on the time.
Yay. You still have more time if you need it and if you want. No worries. But if anyone has any kind of question, please feel free to send them over. We will share with Andrea. So no
Mhm.
worries. It can be either Spanish, English, or even Portuguese. Do not promise much on Portuguese. We will be using Google Translate. My Portuguese is really, really limited. So yeah.
In progress. I would like to say in progress.
But what kind of like well we get into the questions from everyone. What is the craziest time zone you have worked with?
I'm actually working right now with one client who has two offices within Sydney and England, well, Australia and England. But my team is working in Romania, Armenia, Canada, Mexico, and Latam. So this is crazy. Um, I need to wake up really early for some meetings. I need to wake up, stay really late for another ones. But I agree to that. So
It's
yeah,
part of the job description, sadly. Well, not sadly, but yeah.
I really love that. I really love that in the video game industry is always changing. Just there's always something to learn. Maybe about the maybe you're doing something with bitcoins, maybe you're doing something with NFTs, maybe you're doing a mechanic that you don't know, it's really well known but you don't know it, so you have to learn it.
Yeah, or even outside of like tech talk, like for real, I was having a chat early today on a meeting. Yes, in the middle of a meeting, with someone who is from India, and we were talking about biryani and other dishes that are from his native city.
Hmm.
Like it was in the middle of work, but we got like 5 minutes out of everything. But also, we could talk about food, and that is something that is also cool. Like I've also worked with several people from different countries, cultures, and everything, and it's been like that for almost 12 years already. So I know a little bit about it. Um,
Yeah,
and
that happened with the majority of the clients. If you want to gain their trust, you need to show that you care not only for the project but for the person.
yes,
So yeah, try to share a little bit more about yourself.
more on the lines of like, in order for you to gain their respect,
Yeah.
you have to have that little thingy of given and going forward with something super personal or so. Like I remember one of the first things that when I was not on a video game company, but before that,
Hmm.
um, we went to headquarters, and there were people from Germany, England, me from Mexico, some other people from different places in the US. And we're all coming in because we already knew everyone from calls and everything, but we haven't actually met anyone in like real life.
Yeah.
This was like 2011, like really
Okay.
back then. And obviously, the as a good Mexican as I am, or any Latin American, I came into the office with a lot of candies,
Oh.
really a lot of candies for everyone, and for the two lead off buses that they were coming into the office that day, one bottle of tequila each. And this is my greeting. This is my way of saying hi. Please be kind to me. But and the Germany guy, the boss from Germany, he was like, "Huh, well played." And well, it was like, wow, I actually gained that his respect just because I tried to go one step closer to the rest, because I was thinking about them being humans as well as I am. And we do have
That's
a question here
great.
from Alejandra. So, what would be the most challenging thing that you had to face while working with people abroad?
For me, it's the person characters because you don't know them. So in this game jam, maybe you really have work only within your students or university or alike, or maybe you have been working on a very strict environment, so this is really freely. So maybe you are get used to someone gives you task within in this game jam, you have to be a little more creative. Maybe you are about doing group projects, but you are the only one that only put the name at the end, and then you disconnect because thing happens. So get the person characters and try to do like the thing when you get to know them. It can be really tricky because you don't have like 1 month to get to know each other. You don't can report to HR. You can report to the professor or something like that. So that can be challenging, and maybe your own expectations. Maybe I want this to be the best game jam of the best 3 days of my life. That I put some more expression within myself. That I'm maybe on the imposter syndrome, or maybe I'm really eager and I don't let another one comment because yes, I can relate to that, and then I over talk about them. So try to give this like any other time. Try to get to know the person. Maybe you don't get along with everyone in your project. Maybe you get along with one person and that person becomes your friends over time. So that can happen. Maybe you don't like anyone, but you like the project. That's real life work. I telling you, this
Yeah,
is happening
but
in the company.
I would say that beyond how people are, because that is going to happen in any kind of situation, I would
Yeah.
say specifically while working with people who are not from the same country or the same type of culture that you have, because Latin America has somewhat the same culture, or this somewhat the same kind of way of thinking. But if you talk with someone from Romania or someone from Vietnam or China, like that's when that part becomes a little bit more tricky,
Yeah.
because neither their first language nor ours is English, and that is the way we are communicating. So we may sound a little bit colder and a little bit like out of place, and you may feel attacked when there was no intention of that. Or one of the things that I always do and ask the people I work with is that us in Latin America, we love making jokes.
Yeah.
We if something goes the wrong way, we try to lining the mood by making a joke. Like, I don't know, let's say an artist did something weird on a sketch, and you say, oh, probably he just broke his arm. Like, for us it's funny, for us it's not like super offensive. But if you say that to someone in Asia, it's going to be super offensive because they don't get that humor. So you have
Mhm.
to be like super careful on how what do you say, because of the culture. Other people may take it a little bit more personal than what you're trying to do.
That's why we're coming back to the emojis. Try to add an emoji, try to add a sticker, an image to get back to what you try to say. But thank you, Alejandra. That was a really good question. If we have anything else, I will be really happy. Um, you're welcome, Alex. Thank you being here. I'm again encourage everyone. Please try to. I think we can enroll now in community games. Um, uh, we have a deadline, but we like you so much. You are here. We think you're special. You still can come if you want to work and have fun and learn how to do a video game within 72 hours. Please do. And if you really want to go into the video game industry and you don't know where, what, when, you don't know anyone working over there, but you're really passionate about it, I really encourage to be in a game jam, because you will have mentors and people who've been working on the industry that will let you know, like, hey, definitely you can maybe send your CV or your portfolio over here and over there, or maybe try to connect with this and that person. And that's the lovely thing about it. And if you only want to have a good time and do a video game, you can do it also. So try to
For sure.
subscribe. Yeah.
Well, if we don't have any more questions coming in before we end this, just a little comments from the whole team from Women in GameX. So this is going to be partially in English, Spanish, and Portuguese. Hopefully, I don't butcher Portuguese. Sorry for that in advance. But check your emails. We are already sending Discord access.
Ah,
Sí, revisen sus correos. Ya estamos enviando verificaciones de Discord. Ya están recibiendo sus links. Si no los han recibido, por favor, pues escríbanos en redes sociales, en Woman in Gaming o en algún otro lado. Verifique those emails por Discord. Okay? Hopefully.
that was a really good Portuguese for me.
Thank you. So yeah, everyone, check your emails. We already have some people on Discord. Remember that we do have our meetup today later in a couple of minutes. So you can start meeting everyone. So you can start making friends or making teams. Acuérdense que tenemos el meetup al rato. Algunas personas ya tienen acceso en Discord, quienes no, ya lo tienen en sus correos, los accesos. Y nos vemos más tarde para que se conozcan, para que platiquemos y quienes puedan ya empezar a crear sus equipos ya los puedan crear. So that's it from us. Oh yeah, we do have 2 talks tomorrow. One is going to be in Portuguese. We have Valeria Drago from Brazil, and the other is going to be Alice Rey. She's also going to be on English. So Portuguese and English tomorrow. Keep on Woman in GameX social media accounts so you can check out time zones and everything. And thank you, Andrea. Happy to have you here. Hope you had
You're I did have. Thank you for everyone to connect, for the comments, for the likes, shares, and so on. And please check Women in Games social media. They're doing an amazing job, and they have a lot of connections within the industry, not only in MX, if in all Latam. So thanks for having me. I was really happy to share my knowledge. Please go to pixelgamejam.womeningames.org to try to subscribe and have the best 3 days of your life doing what you love, which is a video game.
Yes. See you then. Goodbye, everyone.
Aloha. Hope you
And
have a great time.
bye bye.
Bye.